Lecture by CYC Chen Cynthia. You can pause anytime you need. 你可以随时按下暂停键。Hello everyone, today we are going to do the pencil crayon joint. So, let's get your papers ready. You can use mixed media paper. Okay, that can be used for dry media and wet media. And of course, you can use the sketchbook. Okay, what kind of blend you have, you will see the sketch on the cover. Okay, what if you don't have any one of them? You can use the printing paper. Okay, so printing paper is working as well. Then, of course, you need to have the erasers, pencils, and the sharpener. Alright? And also I need you to prepare 2 different tracing markers. So I need to have 2 different sizes. One is like the fine markers. One is the thin marker like the needle. So you can compare these two are different. Alright? So you need to have your tracing markers ready. And of course, at the middle of the class, I will ask you to get your pencil crayons. Alright? We will going to color with the pencil crayon at the middle of the class. Alright? So let's get all the stuff ready for the class. Okay everyone, today we are going to talk about the campaigns. Alright, so we will do the landscape all together. Then you have to decide where you want to place the tank and where you can have the barbecue and where you can have the funs. Alright, so you have your piece of paper, pencils, and erasers. Alright, so we're gonna divide the paper like 1, 3. So which means we have to divide the paper into 3 columns. One, very, very light. It's better to see the pencil line, right? Because we will erase the line after. So we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, and they are about the same size. But don't use the ruler, eyeball it. Okay. So first of all, I will going to add in the river for you. Then we will add the bridge and trees. Then after that, you're gonna add in all the decorations, all the need by yourself. Okay? So first we have 1, 2. Then I want to find the center line of the paper cut. So we got right and left. Okay, so first of all, you're gonna have a point on the right, the center. So which means this right and this left are the same. Here has a point. Make the point a little bit bigger so you can see it. And now I want to have a point right the middle, right here. Half, the middle. And then you will have to separate 1, 2. So that these 3 are the same size. 1, 2, 3. Okay, you got it? So how many points we have? 1 right here, 2, 3, 4. Don't write the number, I write it because you can see it. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna add in the curved line from the points 1. So that's C. Going to the left, turning to the number 2, and going to number 3 right here. Okay, so we are going to do one more time. For number 1, going to the left, back, twisting all the way to the corner. So nothing about number 4. Okay, so that's C. What happened? That's the river. But you will see the top for number 1, they join together and the size is very skinny. And see the river is getting wider and getting wider all to the bottom. Okay, so that's where's the river. Now we are adding the lamp. So this one cuts cut. So we have the ground level, river on the left, and we add in the tree. So let me zoom in so you can see more detail for the tree. Right here. Okay, so for the tree we have what? A trunk. Down. So one long, one short. There's a reason, you will see that. And that's the root at the bottom. Some long, some short, and see the angle. They go into different angle. All right. So now we have the trunk, we have roots. Now we got the bench. The branch right there, going out, going out, going up. And looks like the letter V on the top right there. Okay, so we have trunk, roots, and the branch. Now we got the stick. Add in the stick as much as you can. It looks like the letter Y, isn't it? Letter Y. So we add in bunch of them and try to add in them as much as you can so they will look like the real tree. Okay, so we shouldn't see any ground level inside the trunk. So we're gonna remove it because it's behind, it covered. Okay, so we are going to do a bridge so we can cross the river, right? It's more safe. So I want to find a level looks like that. Straight up, but see, I do it very light. Okay, so we start from here, going to have an arch, double. Okay, so above the bridge, we have the floor. We have the rail. So people are not going to fall into the water if there's no wrap. Okay, then I can remove the bottom line so I know I'm not losing the angle. Okay, so I got a river, I have bridge, I have the tree. Okay, so what else? Now is your time to remove all the extra line that we don't need it. Okay, we don't need the cross, we don't need the lines right there. Okay, so it's the time for you to add in the decorations, backgrounds, and neat. So remember the topic, we are camping. So what do you need when you camping? We need the tent, right? So we can sleep inside. We need to have the fire so we can scare off the big animals so they are not going to attack us, and we can cook the food as well. All right, so we need to have tent, fires, and what else? Okay, you have to think about it first. All right, so now it's time for you to start.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, so before we start to trace, let's see what I have. I have something very simple. Alright, so I believe you got something more interesting than mine. Okay, so we do have a river with the bridge and the tree, right? That's what we all have. So I add in the tent, and I don't make the tent too small. I make the tent more close to us, alright? And I have the fire just next to the tent and close to the water. In case any accident happen, I got the water to stop the fires. Alright, and I got a small chair so I can sit here to get myself warm and have some barbecue there, right? So I also can do the fishings if I add in the buckets, right? So I can fish in as well. And I do something at the back. I do the bush, I do the trees to make myself looks like I'm in the forest, not the city, not the park, right? So we need lots of the trees or the branch. Alright, so you can add in something in the river like the fish, water, rocks, or the dogs or the froggy. Your choice. You can add in the bear, you can add in the deer, fox, or the rabbit. Your choice as well. So think about it. What do you have when you are camping? Okay, so that is your drinks and what that happened. Okay, so I give you another extra time to do the background and design your camp shape, the campsite. All right.
Three, two, one.
Alright, so hopefully you almost finish your drawings. Okay, so we're gonna trace. Okay, so you can use the fine markers to trace somewhere big. So my tank is something big, so I'm gonna use the thick marker to trace. Alright, and I'm gonna use my needle marker, the thin markers, to trace somewhere small, like the stick, like the tree, like the bridge. They are something far away. And I'm gonna use the pencil crayons if I don't have the thin markers. So I will going to use the pencil crayon if I don't have one. Alright, so for some of you might ask the question, so where I actually use the fine markers? So look at this drawing. Which one is the main point, the focal points on this drawing? For me, I would say the tank, because this one is much bigger. And if I shows the tank without the river, without the trees, we can see that is the campus, right? So that is matched to the topic. Today's topic is campus, so I will say the tank is the main focal point. So I will use the fine markers to trace my tank. Alright? But I do have something small on the tank, like the needle, like the pins, like the paw. They are something small. So I will use the thin marker to trace something small there. Okay? Then the rest of them, I will use the thin marker to trace. Okay? So now, hopefully you understand what do you use the markers. Where you need to use the fine markers, where do you need to use the thin markers. Alright? If you have no more question, you can start to trace your joints. Okay, so before we move on, so here has the description for you. As I mentioned, my focal point should be my tank, right? So I use the thick marker to trace my tank. Not the fire, not the chair, just the tank. But I do have some detail for the tank, but I don't use all the thick markers to trace it. Okay, I use the thin marker to trace the pattern. Because they are not that important, it looks like the decoration to make my tank looks better. That's it. So I use the thin marker to trace my tank. Alright, and the most of the background I use the thin marker because they are background. But why I trace the river with the thick markers? Because I want my river becomes my focal point as well. So I know where I am. I'm next to the river. But inside the river, the water wave, the rocks, they are the pattern, they are the decorations. So I'm adding them with the thin markers. Alright? And I do separate the ground because I want to separate the ground and the forest. So I use the thick markers, but that's all. I only use the thick markers to trace the main parts of the tent. The rivers, the ground level, that's it. And rest of them I use the thin marker to outline them. So make them looks like the background. Okay? So it doesn't mean they are not important. They are not just not much important. Okay? But they can make my drawing looks better. So I use the thin marker to trace, but don't make them look too strong. So keep the focal points on where it should be. Alright, so when you're done with the tracing, we have to remove all the pencil line. Then we're gonna have our 3 minutes water break. So using your break time wisely, okay, if you have something that you haven't done yet, use the 3 minutes to catch up. So after 3 minutes, we're gonna do the coloring all together. Alright, now is our water break. During the water break, you can complete your work, drinking some water, use washroom, stretch your body, and get ready for the next sections. Alright? And don't forget to coming back when the timer is done. Use your break time wisely, okay? Don't waste the time just sitting right here. Our water break is almost over. Make sure you got everything ready for the next sections. Almost the class. Get ready for the next part.
3, 2, 1.
Alright, so welcome back everyone. So you have to have your drawings, finish tracing. If you have something that you haven't done with the tracing, it's okay because we do the pencil crayon colorings. You can do the tracing after we finish the colors. Alright, if you haven't done the coloring, don't worry, we always have the time to finish. Alright, so let's see, just the color review. We have to use any color you want, okay, especially for the tank. You can use any color you like. Alright, then remember, we're gonna use the color value or color blendings. So color values mean we color the dark color, then reduce the pressures to make the color become a slightly brighter, then even brighter all the way to the top. So you're gonna have dark, mediums, and bright. So that is the color value. Okay, and you also can do the color blending. So you're gonna pick two colors. So let me finish my first one. So we do the same thing, dark, getting brighter, mediums, even brighter, and stop. So keep the top white. And I'm gonna use my second colors. So let me find the other one. So that's my first one, that's my second one. So I'm gonna do the same thing but upside down. Dark, overlap, medians, and overlap, keep going, and light. So we join two color in one space. This is color value. We use one single color to create dark, medium, light. This is color blending. We use two color and use dark, medium, light to join colors together. Alright, so either one, you have to choose color value or color blending, or you can use both of them into your joints. Alright, now you can start to do the colors. Alright, so I'm not finished the coloring, so don't worry. I just want to mention, alright, so let's see the ground. I use a little bit greens, a little bit brown to mix the color, to do the color blending. Why? Because the ground doesn't cover by the grass all the time. Sometimes they will have the soil, right, the muddy, or they have something, they have the grass. And some grass is longer, some grass shorter. So that's why I added some grass, I added some green colors, I added some brown to to make my ground looks more layers. The long grass, short grass, and no grass. Alright, so when you do the ground, you can think about it. Do you need to color then all greens? Or some greens, some brown, and some grass? Alright, and here's the thing that I want to mention for the river. We don't color the river just blue. If you already colored the blue color, it's okay. You can add in some water wave. Because that's a river, so which means they are not like the ocean blue, right? So I add in some wave, see, looks like that. And check the direction. I do it like the horizontal directions. Adding a bunch of the wave, curve lines as much as I can. Okay, and sometimes I use the blue. Sometimes I use the turquoise. And sometimes I leave it white. I just color a little bit on the side, like the shadow. But most of the time I just add in the texture. I don't actually color in it. I add in lots of water wave with blue and turquoise. Sometimes just color a little bit on the side, like the shadow. Okay, all the ways. Remember, we are going to add in the texture like the horizontal directions. Okay, and try to add much. Okay, so when you're done with all the colors, so you can bring your gray color or black color, I want to add in a few shadow right under the tank, under the small object you have. You might have the backpack or the chair or the box or the luggage or the fridge or the coolers, under the bridge, under the trunk, under the trees, and a little bit under the fire. Alright, and under the rocks, if you have the big rocks, or if you have the buckets, adding the shadow under the buckets as well. Alright, so when you finish the shadow, now it's time for you to find a place to sign the name and write down the date. When you complete your drawing, sign the name and write down the date. 完成画作之后，签下你的名字，更写上日期。Don't forget to take a photo of your drawing and send it to us. 不要忘记帮你的作品拍上照片寄给我们哦。And don't forget to clean out the table before you go. 不要忘记清洁你的桌子哦。Bye bye, see you next time.